Hi, Rob.
Hi, Phil. How are you?
I'm fine, and you?
Great, thanks.
Great.
Thanks.
Thanks for joining me today for a session about MSP or marketing for MSP. I'm glad to have you today to discuss this topic. I think you're the right person to discuss it with me today. Um, to get started, I would like you to introduce yourself to our audience. You and Bloom Marketing Agency by the same token. So
Absolutely. My name is Rob Elbaz. I'm a strategist here at Bloom Digital Marketing Agency. We specialize in all sorts of digital marketing. Started as a Google search and Facebook ad agency, but we've also added departments to help with SEO and content, to help with CRO, conversion rate optimization, organic social media management, email marketing, and even creative. We have a creative team as well that helps us build banners and videos for our campaigns. So myself, I'm a strategist. I specialize in business to business marketing and lead generation. I worked a little bit with e-commerce clients as well, but I guess my real strength is helping people figure out where to find leads and what to do with them once they found them. So not just picking up that initial conversion, which tends to be something like a phone call or a contact form fill, but also nurturing them and following them through the sales cycle to becoming a full client, and then understanding how do we find more people like this and fewer people who come in at the top of the funnel but turn out to not be qualified or not want the service at the end of the day. So this is where I really kind of have fun with the work that I get to do.
but this is your specialty. Is Bloom Marketing Agency has its own specialty in online marketing?
So Bloom is very well spread out. We have a B2B side as well as an e-commerce side. Roughly half our clients are in e-commerce, selling anything from fashion to jewelry to more specialized products. We work with travel agencies, we work with lawyers, we work with service providers like VoIP.ms as well. We work with um, individual specialists like practitioners, as I mentioned, lawyers, dentists, doctors, and a lot of SaaS companies as well, software as a service companies. So people who have email marketing software or customer support software, that sort of thing. Also, so really not a true, I would say, specialization for Bloom. We could work very well with ecom clients, very well with large enterprises, very well with startups who are trying to get their software out there, and just individual professionals who want to get more customers for their service line.
Great, great. It's a very large scales of types of customer. I would say it's a, a
It
lot of
definitely
professional.
keeps us it keeps us on our toes here. So the team at Bloom is very used to jumping from industry to industry, and that we picked up quite a few interesting facts. So conversations are never boring.
Yeah, I think because I understand the situation at VoIP.ms. We work with so many types of industries, from the medical to the industrial to name it. The conversation with those customers is very, very different from one to another.
That's it. You get the opportunity to learn lots of new things very quickly when you work with such a wide range of industries, which is always so much fun.
um, My next question, since VoIP.ms has a footprint across North America, in fact, across the world, but mainly in North America, and you're a Montreal-based marketing agency, do you work only with Canadian company or also with US-based businesses?
So Bloom's clients, we have clients in Canada and the US as well as in Europe. We're also part of Google's international growth program, which we're the only agency in Canada right now to be a part of this, which gets us access to some special insights and a special team from Google that helps us when our Canadian and even American clients are looking to expand overseas. So we definitely have our home base in Montreal as well as an office in Toronto now. And I would say the majority of our clients are either Montreal or Toronto based, but we also have quite a few clients in the US. And many of our North American clients have exposure in Europe and in other markets as well. And we're kind of uniquely positioned to help them when they're entering these markets and running campaigns there.
Okay, great. Okay, great. It's I did not know that about Bloom. So, well, good to know. When we will go to Europe selling VoIP, we know where to call.
and I've already spoken to your marketing team about this, so I'm really excited for to work with you guys to expand your international footprint as well, because I know your services can be used just about anywhere in the globe. So
it already is, but we don't have a large footprint in Europe now. But maybe one day it's going to be otherwise. To go back to our main topic, which is marketing for MSP or managed service providers, I invited you to have this conversation just to do an overall discussion, overall view to how we can implement marketing strategy or tactic around managed service provider, because it's a service industry, but it's also a very niche types of businesses. Even though there's a lot of MSPs in this world, but they don't talk to everybody. They talk to business owner, CTO, and so on. So my first question around the marketing basics things, it's how to advertise and what MSPs should show in the first place in your marketing strategy.
And it's such a great place to start thinking about what exactly you want to promote. And for MSPs, you're there to fill a need. You're there to do something that your client can't necessarily do on their own. So you really need to show that off, and you need to prove that you're reliable. You need to prove that you're trustworthy. You need to show a little bit of your history doing this type of service. And then you want to just make sure that message is as clear as possible. So think about, always put yourself in your customer's shoes. Think about what they need to hear to feel confident to choose your service. So they need to hear, first of all, that you can do the job. They need to hear that you've done the job in the past and that you've done it successfully. And they'll need to have some other little questions answered, like, for my specific use case, are you really the right person to look at? Generally, I think MSPs will probably specialize in certain industries. Some of them might be a little bit more broad, but if you do specialize in one or two industries specifically, don't be afraid to call that out. Let people know upfront, this is who you're a good fit with, and a little bit of why you're a good fit without giving away too much that your competition can maybe pick up on.
If you're good to medical industry or medical clinic IT systems, and that should be your first thing to show, if it's your specialities, if I can say.
Absolutely. So you definitely want to start off, anything that you're going to do in marketing, you want to start off where you feel you have an advantage. So if you're specialized in medical, start by trying to reach a medical audience, have a landing page that shows why you're a specialist in medical. And if that's where most of your business comes from now, you could expect that most of your future business, the easiest future business that you'll pick up, will probably be in that same niche, and speak to it and let people know that why they should choose you.
Anyway, it's easy to find a stock photo with doctors on it anyway. So it's going to be easy to...
And it's very true. A lot of the time, you don't necessarily need to have the flashiest, most original photo, but your photo just has to clearly show, the message that you're trying to get across. And, after that, for someone just getting started, definitely go through the stock photos. There's a lot of image banks out there, and you could find something that can be edited into the right size banner with a little bit of text over it. And that's an ad that's going to get your message across. It's better than being silent.
Yeah, I've seen so many professional websites with stock photo that I saw in Adobe stock or whatever the bank you went on it, and I was like, okay. And sometimes it's obvious that it's the stock photo, but sometimes you can find a good one. Anyway, that's another discussion. I want to know which channel and which medium MSP. Yes, they are in IT businesses. However, they're not specifically looking for other geek or other IT specialist. So just
They're
doing
probably looking for exactly the opposite. They're looking for people who don't have that IT specialty so that they could be the expert.
exactly. So in this regard, where they should advertise? Is it Google Ads is better than everything else, or social media for an MSP overall? How to choose your channel, your medium?
So there's a few different channels that we'll always think of as our starting points. Google search is always going to be such a great way to capture people who are on the internet right now looking for exactly what you have to offer. Now, this is a very specialized type of service that we're thinking about. And, we might not always have exactly the keywords in mind that people will be searching for. So we do have to be a little careful there. But this is something that we'll look at quite early for sure. Google search, what are the types of things people will search for when they need your service? And if you already have a website and you're already getting organic traffic, you could kind of take a look at your Google Search Console right now and see what types of searches are bringing you that traffic. And that would be your starting point as well for the types of keywords you would want to bid on. We also think a lot very early on about Facebook and Google Display and other display networks. This is a very low cost way to put your visual ads in front of people just to spread that brand awareness. And the difference between these two channels, in one side, you're pushing your message in front of people who will maybe need what you have to offer, but they're not looking for it right now. And Google is a channel where you're really waiting for people who are looking for what you have to offer to come talk to you. So Google is going to be that kind of faster loop to get someone who is, going to your ad, coming to your website, and then talking to you. Where Facebook and some of the display channels where you would place banners, it's a little bit longer. They'll see your ad, and then when they have that need, that's when they're going to come back to you.
It's a discover types of
exactly.
or notoriety or brand awareness. Facebook and social media are more made for brand awareness.
Exactly. So when we're thinking about digital marketing, that's often the places where we'll start. There are some other networks as well that are very interesting. LinkedIn is a great place to reach professionals. That's it. There are very specialized sites, and I think of a place like Reddit as well, where people who are getting into business might be having those conversations. Other forums, and marketing isn't just buying ad space and placing ads. Marketing can be a lot of things. It could be just taking a company account and inserting yourselves into conversations and making yourself an expert and getting people back to your website and just helping people with the questions that they have so that they know to come to you when they need services as well. So it's important to think of marketing not just as buying ads, but as everything you do as a brand. Coming back to some of the places you could start out with, if you have, a business area, a business neighborhood in your city, and you want to install phones for businesses, maybe you just want to go up to those places and put a flyer under their door, or mail them your services. The only rule here is, where can you reach your audience and how can you reach them for as low a cost as possible to get your message out there? So, be creative. What's going to work for one person isn't always going to work for the next person. But at the same time, the standard places to start are always going to be those Google and even Bing search ads, and Facebook and some of the display networks for spreading that brand awareness.
And what's nice with Facebook, as far as I understand, Facebook ads is their lookalike audience types of functionality. Do you need to, let's say you want to start up with this, do you need to build up or define a persona, like a target or before starting to do this? And if so, how for a business that start doing marketing can start defining their persona types of customers?
Absolutely. So there's two different parts to that. There's the persona and the audience. So the persona is kind of, that avatar, that emblem of what your audience kind of looks like. So you actually take and build a story. Rob is, let's say between 35 and 40. He's married. He has kids. I'm not sure if you could hear one of them screaming away upstairs, but these are the types of things that Rob the persona is like. Rob is part of a greater audience. That audience is, marketing professionals who are pretty stable in their family life and starting to think, about saving up even for kids' education and retirement. So this is going to put me into a lot of audiences, but there's only that kind of one persona that I am. And, that persona is who you're speaking to. So it's great to have a persona in mind when you're writing out your ads, because you need to think, what is Rob? What matters to Rob? What does he really care about? How do I get his attention? And how do I let him know that I understand him and that, I could help him with his problem? So that's when we think about persona building. And how you do this is, start with your existing customers. Start with the ones who have, very lively personalities. And if they are very representative of the type of person that you want to reach out to, you've already kind of got your persona.
You just have to define it. You just have to think through.
Flesh it out.
Yeah,
exactly.
And just to come back to our example with the medical sector or medical industry, usually medical clinic here in Canada are owned and operated by a doctor, by the one that is doing the job. So it's not easy, but you can define what kind-ish of personality a doctor can have. Someone that is educated, don't have so much time on to search on for services and so on. So it can give you insight of what you need to advertise and what types of advertisement you want to pull out. So if you want to advertise to people that doesn't have a lot of time, I think you want to be straight to the point and make it short. Like you don't want to have a 30-page use case to tell them what you're doing, because they probably never gonna read it. So
it's very observant, and when you're thinking about those personas, that's what you're thinking about. It's how do I target them? What are the things that I could target on a marketing platform, digital marketing platform? So on Facebook, if you're a doctor, I could target people who have medical degrees. I could target, people who are in specific locations, people who are interested in things that doctors would be interested in. That's how I reach them. And then where do I reach them? Are they even on Facebook? Does this person maybe, read medical journals and I have to advertise in medical journals if I want to get their attention? Do they watch YouTube videos in their time off? Is that where I should be reaching them? So this is the next thing. And then, what do I say to them? What is he going to listen to? He or she going to listen to when I, have finally reached them in my audience? I've finally picked the platform that I'm going to speak to them on. Now I'm right in front of them. What do I say? So these are the three things that you have to think about when you're building your persona. That's what your persona should.
You're kind of elevator pitch, but in advertisement.
Exactly.
So, in speaking of what you have to say, as far as I know, and I'm working with several MSPs, and they often have a large offering. We offer VoIP. We are just one of the product in their portfolio. They have a larger service offering. How to decide what to advertise without discriminating the other services, because it's not because your main services is the one you really want to put out that you want to put shadows on everything else behind. How do you weigh it? How do you kind of choose which product you have in your portfolio?
So it's a great question, and it's something we deal with at Bloom, because as I mentioned, we started as really a paid marketing agency to run paid digital ads, and we've branched out into so many other areas. So you probably still come back to a core service, which is what you're best at, which is what you're kind of known for, and this is what you speak about more than 50% of the time. But when you're writing,
do you do a slogan or something to I don't know, so it came out of my head like this, just to summarize, like I often see one-stop shop for IT kind of slogan, and for me
So in that, I think, what we're thinking there is, framing your unique selling point in one sentence. That is always, what can you say that makes yourself different from the competition, that makes yourself the unique person who is able to serve this, this set of problems. So having that slogan is great. You don't always need it, but it's great to have in your mind, almost like a mission statement, like what it is that you do better than everyone else. It's your reason for existing as a
Everything.
business, in a sense.
Everything. We do everything better than the other. Yeah, it's kind of bold statement, but
So I think it's important to, like I said, think about your core service, what most of your customers are going to come to you for, and then also mentioning at least a little bit each of your other services, whether that's by having blog posts about it, whether it's by having smaller ad campaigns that talk about those services. With Facebook, you have carousel ads. So normally you could put all the different things that you offer in one ad. You would start with your main point and maybe it would take one or two cards, and then each other point would take a couple of cards here or there. Normally what you'll see though is your core service is going to get 50 or more percent of your what you talk about, your voice, your marketing budget even, and then the rest, it's just based on how much opportunity is there, how confident you feel that you could service it if business does start coming in very rapidly for these services, and just other considerations like that, how profitable it is, for example.
Good advice. That brings me to now that we found the medium, the target, the channel, and the product, what's the tactic, not the strategy, but mostly the tactic that you could recommend overall?
Well, let's and we're sticking in the field of digital marketing. Before anything else, you need somewhere where all of this could come back to. So you need a website. Your website has to be professional. You need to be able to have a little bit of thought into SEO so that you have the right keywords there so that you can pick up that organic traffic. After that, the way I tend to think of things is, what can I do myself for free, or my own business with the people that I have available? Usually that's blogging, that's organic social media, and then you start thinking about what can I do with my marketing budget, and that's where we start thinking about low barrier to entry platforms like Google and Facebook. You just need to pick your keywords, spend a little bit of money, and write some ads just in text, so it doesn't take that much skill for a graphic designer. Facebook, you're getting a little bit to that level, and you kind of slowly build your foundation from there. So by doing this, you're able to set up something that is not going to break the bank. It's not going to be a constant stress on you, and you're able to slowly build up your channels, which is going to give you hopefully more revenue, which will allow you to expand your marketing channels, expand your own reach, ultimately expand your business. So, what I would say for people who are just starting out, make sure you've got the basics covered. Make sure your website is professional. Make sure it's easy to navigate. Make sure that people who want to contact you for your services can do that through your website, so that you have contact forms, phone numbers that are visible, live chat if you're able to support it. And, even if you're not able to support live chat, perhaps a chat bot so you could record emails as well and take tickets that way. And then, move on from there. A blog post, an organic social media presence, a paid social media presence, a paid search presence, videos, banners, etc.
One of the idea that come to my mind with MSPs is in terms of marketing, but it's marketing, but building use case story. Like I know that it can be time consuming. It's not a short exercise or a little exercise too. Is it something that get traction?
Use cases, case studies, white papers, they come in many different forms. They're useful up into a point. If it's the type of product where somebody is going to be spending, tens, hundreds of thousands of dollars on it, they're going to need, that literature. They're going to need a lot of things in front of them. First of all, that they could look over and say, okay, this company handled this case study very professionally. It looks nice. There's no spelling errors. It makes sense. I could trust them and I could trust what's in here. So all of these things are just building kind of that brand persona that you have. Maybe you're putting flyers under doors and taking phone calls and then going in and scoping out the project and providing a very accurate assessment and coming off very professionally, and that's enough. And if that works for you, then continue that up until the point that you've reached your limit and you need to move on to the next thing. Case studies can be definitely useful, and the bigger the contracts get and the bigger the clients get, the more important having these types of resources available become.
Yeah, but MSPs now can handle very lucrative contracts and technically speaking, very
very large
and
companies,
very large
complex.
companies, complex infrastructure, securities, database, and so on. So probably for the MSPs, building a use case story or thinking when you're signing up a good contract that that is going to be intense, is going to be a good one to write down a use case, maybe try to think one in advance to start
Absolutely.
doing it.
And this comes back to your persona. So again, put yourself in your customer's shoes. If you're pitching a large enterprise, multinational, multiple offices spread out across across the country or across several countries, they're going to need a lot more to close that deal than somebody who has a local restaurant, somebody who's just starting, their first office, for example. So depending on who your target customer is, make sure what you're offering in terms of marketing materials matches their needs.
But MSP eventually will want to be bigger. So at some point, it's just part of the growing strategy where these types, but not a problem, but the challenge with these types of papers, they are really time consuming to put in place. And usually we saw when you come on a website, put your email there and you'll get a white paper and so on. To build up on this is because white paper and use case for me are two separate types of thing. A white paper is more like a know-how. I'll give you a little bit of insight in exchange of your email address, per se. But the use case is really like, look, I kind of show my diploma of this expertise.
And there's another side to this as well. If you have customers that you've worked with where you're really proud of the work, building out this use case is kind of a great way to express yourself. Why keep it silent? Show off the great work that you've done
with them. Yeah, exactly. It gives you I think we call that leadership marketing.
Thought leadership.
Thought leadership marketing. Yeah. So my little knowledge in marketing is showing here. It's helping like the other customers say, okay, they this big company, trust them, so why would we?
Absolutely. And there's a lot of companies who do exactly this. They never advertise their products. They just give you advice in their field of expertise so that when the time comes and you need someone like them, there's help, you go to them and say, well, look, you're helping me already with all your thought leadership, with all your material, with all your insight. Now I need somebody who can do something that I can't do myself. I trust you. Please help,
Right away. White paper are free, usually. So it comes down to the questions of the pricing. Do you advertise? The MSP, it's always first, they always have the question of how to build up the pricing, but that's for another discussion. Building up the pricing, it's a complete different, we could talk about it probably a couple of hours, but advertising their pricing or like their hourly.
For MSPs, I think they get the benefit, kind of the way Bloom gets the benefit, that every one of their customers has a unique need. So you're not necessarily coming with the same package. So it makes a little bit more sense to hide your pricing in a sense, or to make your customers ask for a quote.
Ask for it.
For exactly for VoIP.ms, your service is the same for everyone. So you advertise
Basically.
your permanent pricing. It makes perfect sense. People, there's no reason to hide it. But for an MSP, first of all, depending on who you're working with, maybe two customers who have the exact same build might end up with different prices just based on negotiations. So that's something that maybe needs to stay hidden.
Mostly every setup in enterprise are completely different from one another. So it's difficult to just put out the price.
And that's it. And the people that you'll be dealing with will understand this, which is why it makes sense maybe not to advertise. At the same time, you could advertise things about your pricing. For example, we offer the lowest pricing. We'll guarantee lower rates than our competition. If you want to make promises about your pricing that you feel that you could fulfill, then by all means,
back it up. Yeah.
But you don't necessarily need to advertise the final dollar unless there's really a reason to. Like, let's say you have a special package. You can do phone setups for restaurants that are just getting started. You built a special package for them. Maybe it makes sense to put that price on the site,
but because you know what's going to cost you, and yeah. And that leads me to another question about pricing is often about the consultation in marketing. In every consultation or specialty field, we often hear about free consultation. Is it something really catchy or really good, or we should avoid that?
I think it makes a lot of sense. Usually when we think of a free consultation, what the business is really thinking of is, this is my chance to pitch my product. So this is what I'm using the consultation for. We have one client that we work with who's a lawyer who offers free consultations because they need to establish whether or not you even need their services. So they will speak with you for 15 minutes to understand your situation, to understand whether they could help you or not. They won't necessarily. Exactly. They might say you don't even have a problem that needs our help. You could simply do this on your own. Or they might say, yes, you do need our help, and this is the cost for our help, and this is what you're going to get for it, and this is how we'll solve your problem. So I think if you offer that type of, free session, free discovery, where the client can explain to you what they need, and you could explain to them what you could offer as a solution, then absolutely. And you could position that as get a free consultation, get a no commitment consultation. That's, it's kind of marketing how you describe it. Nobody wants to hear get a free sales pitch, but people will often be very happy to get a free consultation.
But and what I think often about the free consultation is is it will gather cheap customer that like trying to get free services or free knowledge, basically. So that's always what makes me hesitate to say free consultation or not. And for me, it's easy. It's a sales pitch. You will not have a consultation from me. I will sell you my product. I will sell you directly. There's no joke. It's sure. If I get on a call with you, there's nothing else that I will do. But for a professional, it's that's valuable knowledge. Maybe.
And a lot of the time, and you will give breadcrumbs as to how to solve the problem, but you won't offer the solution yourself. So if somebody is really looking for a consultation, for example, I need you to provide me with plans so that I could build out my telephone system myself without your help, this might be something you want to charge for. If it's, I want a consultation with you because I want to see what you could offer me in terms of services because I have a very specific need that I want to explain to you, it makes sense to offer that free consultation. Yeah. And I'll give you another example as well. You could offer free consultations, but you could specify that they're free consultations for specific people. So if you own a business, I will offer you a free consultation. But if you want me to set up phone lines in your house, I won't offer you a free consultation because that's not what I do.
or you can position yourself about that, like a free consultation, come to discuss your need with us or something. You can like add a little
Exactly.
hook after that, so they know exactly where they are going to.
That's
So.
it. But if the first step in your marketing funnel, in your sales funnel, is to talk to a prospect without any expectation of payment, then let them know that that's the first step in your process. In a way that they're going to accept it. So like I said, maybe free consultation will sound a little bit better than listen to my sales pitch But if that's what resonates, feel free to put that on your site as well.
Like in the cartoon, come to my time sharing pitch. You'll get a free gift or something. Can Not sure it's gonna go through. Finally, which marketing technique MSPs specifically, or any businesses in fact, should avoid? But since we speak about MSP, what's the technique you think they should avoid completely?
So there's a few things in marketing to watch out for, especially if you're just getting started. There are businesses that will offer services that seem useful. There are businesses that will offer to send you leads, businesses that will offer to send you traffic, businesses that will offer to kind of help you get exposure for your content by putting backlinks on their sites. Many of these are not very reputable. Many of these are really, they will send you traffic, but it'll be spam or bots. They will send you leads, but you won't convert any of them. They will put you on websites, but they're websites that have no authority, and maybe you'll even get a penalty for being associated with these sites. So, anything that seems too good to be true, too good value, we always suggest, doing your due diligence on it. And as much as possible, work with reputable people in marketing. There's, not the barrier to entry to marketing is often lower than what people expect. You could get results with a very low budget by running some ads on Google and some ads on Facebook. You could even, get expert help, consultations from freelancers and from agencies for probably less than you would expect. So there's really no need to go for these absolute bargain, too good to be true tactics, which usually are just that, too good to be true.
And I often receive, and that's probably one of these. You want to receive a list of CTOs in medical industries. Do you want to receive PBX user XYZ brand? Do you want to receive? So these lists don't fall for that, I guess.
I mean, that's it. They're very low value. A lot of them are just, it's scraped from the internet. It's pulled from
you just get
who knows where, and that's it. And you won't get anything very useful from it. There are much more effective ways that they'll cost more, but they won't cost that much more. That's my kind of point, is that LinkedIn is can be very expensive to advertise, but that you're reaching executives when you're targeting.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's the value there.
And there's many ways to do marketing without having to spend a lot of money, just by putting out referral program or something like this. That is more
word of mouth marketing, and that's it. Having agents that could go out and offer your services and get a commission for it. So there's lots of ways to kind of build that up, that you don't necessarily need to go for what seems like a shortcut.
Yeah, the shortcut. Yeah, shortcut in the wood. So good. That was a very nice conversation. I'm very glad to have it with you. Sorry about that. And lastly, I would like to know where can we find Bloom? What's the best way to get in touch with an account manager at Bloom, or how does it work?
Absolutely. So our website is very simple, makeitbloom.com. You could visit us there and request a proposal through that site. We're also very easy to find on social media. If you come through us through LinkedIn, especially, it's Bloom Digital Marketing Agency that you would search there. Otherwise, our phone number as well as listed on the website. So feel free to go take a look and let them know you came. Rob sent you.
All right. Great.
There you go.
Great. So thank you, and I hope we will have another discussion and about a whole other topic. Yeah, on the next time.
Fantastic. Thanks. Thanks for having me. It was great.
Thank you, Rob. Goodbye.
Bye bye.